Hi guys, this is going to be an update on Azariah. So they are planning on moving him down to the regular floor. Yes, guys, the regular floor. Although I'm a little apprehensive about it, and I'll explain all of this in just a minute. Hi, if you've not been here before, I am Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 15 children. I have, I think, officially lost my voice-ish. I'm not quite sure, but got a cough drop in my mouth, trying to be able to talk to you guys. Yeah, that's life. So I have 15 children. My youngest son is in the pediatric NICU at Boston Children's, and I currently am sitting at the Ronald McDonald House because I do not feel well. My husband thankfully had today off and is in the hospital with our sweet baby. And so I'm just going to talk to you their plan for him and exciting news. So I think last time we chatted, if you want to know all about Azariah's story, you can go to, I have a playlist and it is baby number 15. That's the name of the playlist. And so just go on there. You can start from when I was pregnant for him, when I found out that he had trisomy 18, when I was told that he was incompatible with life, all those things. You can go back and watch all those. So now we are excited to say that he has had his heart surgery. He's recovered from heart surgery, and he is on low flow oxygen, which qualifies him to be on a different floor. Super excited about that. He's been doing great on low flow. For all those who have been following along, wondering how he was doing, he's actually doing really well on it. I was a little nervous because in the beginning he had such a hard time weaning off of anything. So he still needs to wean. He has a couple more weans, I think 4 more weans to wean off of the morphine. And we'll work on feeding. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just kind of up in the air about all of this. So if I'm going to chat like I'm chatting to a friend. So I'm sorry if I'm not technical because you guys are my friends. That's how I feel. So he's never taken anything by mouth. He's only had an OG or an NG tube, which are tubes in between his mouth, either in his mouth going down to his stomach or his nose going down to his stomach. So we don't know how he'll take food. We also don't know the structure inside of his throat and mouth to make sure that he could swallow it. So what they want before they'll allow me to even try to let him nurse at all or give any fluids by mouth at all is they would want him to have a swallow study. So, and to just visually see everything that's going on. So my thought is why don't we do the swallow study before we move to another floor? Because if we go and do the swallow study and there's something comes up that he would need a surgery or something, then we'd need to go back anyway. The other thing is if they see that something's wrong structurally, and he would need a G-tube regardless because we can't even try things, then why not get the G-tube now and then go through all the weaning. So if he needs a G-tube, that is they would do a surgery where they cut a part of the stomach and they put a feeding tube directly into the stomach, and then it's secured there, and you would just take things on and off of that area, feeding on and off the area, and you could do continuous feeds and stuff through a G-tube. So but in order to get him, if he were to have a surgery or if he was to have the G-tube, they would need to intubate him again, which means stick the thing down his throat so he could breathe. And then when he came out of surgery, he would be paralyzed for a few days. He'd be on medication. We'd have to take the tube out, make sure he did okay. We may need to wean a few days or weeks or whatever off of medication, off of respiratory type support, Like, why not just like do that now so we know for sure if we can go ahead and do this whole like trial feeds type thing. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, I understand that he's like doing well and they want to bring him down to the floor. And I think that's great that they want to bring him down to the floor. It's super exciting because, you know, we didn't even know if we'd ever make it that far. And this does mean that he probably does not need a tracheostomy, which is super, super exciting, guys, because he's just doing it. He is doing it. The Lord is just guiding, and yeah, it's just amazing. So in that way, I am just so super excited for him and for that journey. But I just wish that they would like do that study so that we went down, that we would already know if this was a possibility. What they're saying right now is they want to put us down and then wean the morphine and then try to get him on bolus feeds and then do a sleep study. I understand like you're trying to wean off of the morphine, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, if you are going, like if he needs a surgery, then he's going to have to be on it again and he's going to have to get weaned again. Why not just do the sleep study and then see if he is even able to try to oral feed? I don't know. It's just very, yeah, it's very, when he's on another floor, he also will be one nurse to 4 babies most of the time. So obviously one of us will need to be there. Not 4 babies, 4 babies, children, whatever, 4 of any age. He'd be on the floor with like all ages. So that's kind of nervous. I have a friend whose son went over to that floor, and now he's back up in a different NICU, which is for like everyone type NICU. And they're having a challenge with some things over there. I don't want to be excited and jump a bunch forward and then like only to come back. Like if his swallow study looks good, I don't understand. Like they told me once he was on low flow that I could actually try to have him nurse, and it seems like I can't do that. So I'm a little frustrated, and I know most likely like he's not gonna nurse for nutrition. But I think that him being able to nurse to get the reflux in order to be able to like suck on a bottle would be a good thing, because it's a lot easier to suck on a bottle. But 2 things would happen. One, it might help my production, and the other would be it would help him like get the motion of how to suck. Right now he's been given like a pacifier with like nothing on it, so he's kind of disinterested in the pacifier. It's kind of like, oh, when you're crying, I'm gonna stick this piece of rubber in your mouth and hope that you are content. And he does okay with it. Like if you hold it in his mouth, he kind of like gnaws on it, and you can like pet his bum, and he's like, oh, this is okay, this is okay. But I don't think that he really understands, because he's constantly fed that something needs to happen in order for him to like get something out of something to feed. So he's never really hungry because he's on consistent feeds. So I understand they're going to start to move to bolus feeds, but in the interim, I don't understand like why he couldn't be like practice nursing, but he can't do that until he has the swallow study. So it just seems like a big headache. And tomorrow is Monday morning. I probably am going to go in and just wear a mask. Honestly, that's what lots of people do, even if they're not feeling well. I know that people have had some things to say about like, if I get sick, like that's wrong and whatever. I'll be honest with you. I have had some pretty sick nurses, like out like hacking and then putting a mask on and coming into the room. And yeah, it's still their job, and people need to pay bills. And I understand they're in a NICU, but they still have to pay their bills, especially in an expensive area like this. Like, one shift for them could be like huge, 1 12-hour shift without pay. So I have had a couple different sick nurses. I've had nurses go home sick while caring for my son, that weren't wearing a mask before, but then ended up going home sick. And then I've had nurses that have, and that happened twice, 2 separate nurses. And then I've had nurses who just came in and they were coughing and whatever. And I've had an NP who like pretty much had no voice and was like coughing. All you can really do is be cautious, right? For me, I'm probably more cautious than most of the people there. Just as far as, they told me before, as far as like when my daughter was sick, and I was unsure if she was like, what was going on, they told me, well, even if she has something that's contagious, if you wash your hands, you're really good at hand washing. So if you wash your hands, then it shouldn't be an issue. They've also told me before that, say one nurse has 2 babies, one of the babies could have, say, RSV or flu or whatever other virus. That other baby could have that virus, and the nurse might be taking care of your baby and that baby. They don't have like an infectious, like, they do if it was like something really serious before a baby's like on antibiotics. If it's like whatever, they have like an infectious room, but it's like more for like really serious stuff. But a baby next to you could have like serious pneumonia or, you know, whatever. I can't even think. I'm trying to think. Rhinovirus? I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Anyway, they could have that. And the nurse would just take care of both babies and, you know, change out gloves or whatever. And if the other baby is like, or child or whatever is sick, then they might wear a mask in the room. But overall, that's kind of their standard of care. And they told me that when I had my daughter who was sick before. They said, you're not gonna not be let back in here because you went to your sick child. Like, if you're cautious and you wash your hands, then we're not going to like worry about that, because it's the same thing that needs to happen. And they explained everything to me like that. So I know a lot of people on here think that, or not a lot of people on here, some people on here have this like conception that thinks very small. Like, if me as mother goes out into the public, that I'm going to bring back some sort of disease to the whole unit. There already is a lot of stuff on the whole unit, and nurses could be taking care of multiple babies with different concerns. Anyway, I'll just see how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. I haven't had a fever. I just have this like, it's all like in my throat. And someone had also mentioned that it could be just from like the change in temperature and stuff like outside. I don't even have really like head coldy stuff. It's more just my throat. Like, I don't have like a runny nose or anything like that. I'm more just like husk like this. And then when I'm talking, then I start to cough. So I don't know. I might just wait until later. Maybe they'll just put me on a video chat or whatever, but I do want to like express my opinion about the whole move and see if it's something that they would consider. So I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.